Hey everyone, today we're going to dive into a really powerful way to think about love and connection, one that gets us past all those tired cliches. We're going to look at how letting go of the past, really embracing the hard work of love, and maybe most importantly, showing up as our true selves can totally transform our relationships. So yeah, let's explore this framework together. Okay, this line right here, this is pretty much the heart of everything we're talking about. It puts a really profound choice in front of all of us, in our lives and in our relationships. So, do we stay camped out in the ruins of what used to be, or do we turn our focus to this present plot, this wide open, fertile ground, and start consciously building something new? And, that choice brings us right to our first section. It is so easy to get caught living in the past, right? Just replaying the same old stories over and over in our heads. But as we're about to see, choosing to live there, well, it comes with a really steep price for our own growth and for our connections. So you can really see the two paths laid out here. On one side, you've got living in the past. It's like a house built on what the poem calls porous memories and brittle foundations. It's just unstable. Because think about it. Our memories aren't perfect recordings, are they? They're colored by our emotions, they're flawed, they're fragile. But then, on the other side, you've got the alternative, residing in the now. And that's like planting a seed in fresh soil. It's a wide open opportunity where a better future can actually take root and grow.
This brings up a really important idea from economics that, believe it or not, applies perfectly to our lives: opportunity cost. Just think of it like staying in a job you hate. The day-to-day cost might not seem huge, but the real loss, it's all the time, the potential, the future joy you're missing out on from a career you could actually love. It's the exact same thing in relationships. Every single moment you spend stuck in the past is a moment you can't invest in building a really vibrant future.
So, this is the question we all have to ask ourselves, and we've got to be honest about it. What potential connections, what personal growth, what real, genuine joy are you missing out on simply because you're holding on too tightly to something that's already gone? Okay, so once you've made that decision to clear that present plot by letting go of the past, well, that's when the real work begins. And that brings us to our second big theme. This is all about tearing down that myth of the effortless, Hollywood-style romance and getting real about what lasting love actually takes. And here's the thing that's so important to get. Real love isn't some trophy you win or a finish line you cross. The Hollywood version sells us on these instant sparks and a tidy little happily ever after. But the perspective we're looking at here reminds us that love can be a slow, steady boil just as often as it's an instant spark. It's not a one-time thing. It's a living, breathing entity that needs a lifetime of caring to really thrive. And this line, wow, it just perfectly nails what can go wrong when we stop doing that caring. These micro bites, they're the tiny resentments, right? The little unresolved issues, the grudges we hold on to in silence. They seem so small and harmless on their own, but they slowly and surely eat away at the very foundation of a connection, just eliminating the joy, piece by piece, until one day you look around and there's nothing left. So if that's the problem, what's the solution? What does this real work actually look like? Well, it's about making active, conscious choices. It means forgiving from the soul, not just mouthing the words. It's practicing a kind of selective amnesia, a deliberate choice to let certain hurts go so you can move forward together. And of course, it's about open communication and trying to understand that the way you give and receive love might be totally different from your partner's. And this leads us to something huge, a really pivotal idea. The work isn't just about the we in a relationship, it's also about the me. You just can't build a strong, authentic connection if you aren't first willing to show up as your authentic self. I love this idea of our own unique light. It's our personality, our strengths, our passions, our weird little quirks, the whole shebang. But here's the catch. To truly share that light with someone else, you have to recognize it and value it in yourself first. You have to know what you're bringing to the table before you can share it. And getting there, well, it's usually a process, isn't it? It doesn't just happen overnight. First, we start to see the conforming hoops, all those subtle little ways we bend ourselves out of shape to please other people or just to keep the peace. Second, we have to acknowledge our own growth, the changes happening inside us. And then finally, we make a conscious choice to stop performing and to just emerge as the me that's true. And this is where it gets really powerful. When you dare to be your authentic self, it isn't just a gift to you, it's an invitation. It creates this safe space that gives the other person permission to be their true self too. And honestly, That is the only foundation that anything real and lasting can ever be built on.
Okay, so let's pull all these threads together. When we're letting go of the past and we're showing up as our authentic selves, what kind of environment does that actually create? Well, our final section calls it good company, and it's the ideal space for healthy, vibrant connections to really flourish.
So how do you know you're there? Well, you can just feel it, can't you? The signs are all here. The energy is just welcoming. There's no pretense, no performance. Conversations are driven by genuine curiosity, not by ego. And you find yourself in that amazing situation where it's hard to tell the new people you just met from your old friends. Time just seems to fly by. It's that rare, incredible feeling of being completely and utterly at ease. And this right here, this might be the biggest aha moment of the whole thing. Creating this kind of connection, this good company, isn't about finding some magic formula or adding the right ingredients. It's about subtraction, not addition. It's about letting go of all the baggage that gets in the way, the fear, the ego, the need to control, the old resentments. If we can just release those things, this nourishing, beautiful environment is what naturally shows out. And this line just says it all, doesn't it? It brings everything home. When you achieve that genuine heart-to-heart connection, all the external stuff, the place you're at, the circumstances, the setting, it all just fades into the background. The connection itself becomes the destination. The where simply doesn't matter anymore. So we'll end with this question for you to think about. If you stripped away all the external stuff, all the obligations and the locations, and you focused only on the quality of the connection itself, who would you choose to be with? That, right there, is the real heart of showing up as love. Thanks so much for joining me in this exploration.